All right, so welcome to Status of the Chemistry Address for April 3rd. Orders of business, things to address. If you have a place for important information, knock yourself out. Otherwise, just listen up because there's some things that you need to know. Grades are going to be due on April 20th. They've extended the window. Ms. Schultz and I will be updating the grade book into this weekend to include any assignments, all assignments that were turned in BC, which stands for before Corona. Anything that was handed in before Corona was thrown into two massive suitcases that I use when I travel overseas to Europe. When we were allowed to go into Kennedy High School and gather all our stuff, I threw all my binders, all my curriculum, and I can't tell you how many piles of paper of things that I was grading, had to grade, finish grading, but didn't get into the grade book. And they have all been in my two giant suitcases in my garage, in garage quarantine, and I have not taken them out of garage quarantine since we were allowed to go into school and get our stuff. This is the weekend where they are going to be allowed out of garage quarantine, sprayed down with an absurd amount of Lysol, and I'm going to be putting things into the test wizard from before Corona. So if you have things that you know that you did not hand in BC before Corona, now would be the appropriate time for you to start contacting me and saying, hey, how can I get this work to you so that I can put grades in from before Corona? Anything that you think that you had turned in but is not necessarily in the portal, please just give me a few days through this weekend in order to finish updating. Any assignments that were done AC, which stands for after Corona, will be put into the gradebook for completion points. You completed the assignment, you get credit, and they are going into your average for completion. If you have not completed things, like, you really need to get on that and start watching the videos and doing the app puzzle, doing the test wizard. If that is something you haven't done yet, please make that happen so that I can give you the Oprah's big giveaway free points for the quarter, because otherwise, I'm going to have to mark that you haven't done it. And I really would like to just give you points for doing it. The next thing I want to throw down here with is please check the portal on Wednesday, April 8th, which gives me time through the weekend and a few days to update all of the things BC and AC before Corona and after Corona to see any work that needs to still be completed and handed in. All missing work for the quarter 3, anything that, is going to be in your average for points, I need to have that done and turned into me by Wednesday, April 15th, so that I have time to look at everything, finalize grades. There's calculations that need to be done. If, your quarter averages of 1, 2, 3 are higher than what was happening quarter 3, there's a replacement. I got work to do, and I can't do that unless I have all of the things from you by Wednesday, April 15th. All the work starting from the new unit of acids and bases and salts is going to count for quarter number 4. So the work that we're currently working on is going into your quarter 4 average, which at this point, the district has said we are evaluating quarter 4 on a pass-fail basis, which means in order for me to determine passing versus failing, I need to keep scores. Scores are going to have to be entered into the portal. They're going to be entered on, in a way that I can actually keep grades. And these scores are going to be generated on completion, best effort, and there might be things that we're actually going to count as scores in terms of Ed Puzzle and Test Wizard. That doesn't mean that you turn around and, you look up every single answer on the internet, because we're not stupid. We know that the answers are on the internet. We just want your best effort, and we promise that if you give us your best effort, then there's no reason why you can't pass quarter 4. It's really obvious when people turn in work on the Test Wizard or Ed Puzzle that are literally word for word from the Regents answer database from the New York State website, and you're using phrases that are beautiful, intense chemistry phrases that we never used in class and we did not use in the live stream. So I'm really confused about how you got some of those answers. No judgments passed. I understand. Sometimes people look things up. I'd rather have your best effort, and you make mistakes, you're still gonna pass as long as you're giving me your best effort, but I really would just rather have your best effort than the best answer that you copied from the internet. The final thing that I'm going to throw in here is that in order for me to streamline all the assignments and keep accurate records, we're going to be transitioning to a Google Classroom. So you are going to have to register for Google Classroom. Here we go. Please sign up for Google Classroom. Okay, these are the directions. Okay, you're going to go into Google Classroom. I know that some of your teachers already use Google Classroom. Depending on which class you are in, this is the class code for period 2. So highlighter, class code for period 2, this thing right here. So if you're period 2, this is your class code. If you are period 4, this is your class code. And if you are in period 9 with me and Miss Chilton, you are in Vendor Chills period 9. This is the class code for period 9. And any day now, I'm waiting for the highlighter to fire up. Okay, you're going to register for the appropriate coronatastic chemistry class, depending on which period you're in, and you will then be directed to the homepage for that class. So highlight, 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 highlight. Okay, you are going to be directed to the class code for that class, which is not the class code, the homepage, which is going to look like this. So things you should be aware of. Okay, on the left-hand side is where all of the upcoming assignments are going to be posted. Some of the assignments are just kind of common sense, like, hey, like, go watch that video, like, hey, go do this, here's an ed puzzle. Some of them actually have things that you need to submit, and there are set due dates. So there are going to be posts that are in the feed. And there's also, you can click on the upcoming. Either way, you should always be checking out what's on the feed and on the upcoming. If you click on the assignments of things that are upcoming and what you have going on, there are assignments that are currently posted. And in fact, to be honest with you, there's a couple other things that I had added in. The things that are going to be due on April 6th, which is this coming Wednesday, are things that you should have already done. Like, you should have already done the kinetics and equilibrium pogo on the Chatelier's principle. I just need you to take pictures or scan it and turn it in. You should have already done the acid and base and salt vocabulary list. Like, that's something you should have done already this week. All I need is a picture of it or a scan of it, handwritten, whatever it is. You're going to be submitting work on Monday that should have already been done. So some of you are like, might panic when you see there's like 6 things that are currently going to be due on Google Classroom. They're not 6 brand new assignments. They're things that you should have done already. And now I'm just asking for you to actually hand them in so that I can start to verify grades and make sure that, you know, I can accurately say whether or not you're passing or failing. When something is submitted and complete, there's going to be a grade out box. Like right now, anything that's new and active is purple. Assignments that are grayed out and done are going to mean that you already submitted it. And I want to show you what that is going to look like, the process of submitting. So, okay, let's say this is the assignment on Le Chatelier's principle, the POGL. There are going to be directions for you. Sometimes it might be an assignment you can type. Sometimes it might be an assignment that says we will not accept type things. It must be handwritten, which means you can either scan your assignment or take a picture. If you click on this and you open this, like you click on the link, it'll show you how you can hand things in. In this particular case, you have to take pictures or scan. So let me show you what that's going to look like. You click on the assignment, this is what it's going to say, and then there's a spot here where it says your work and you can submit something. So your work for this particular assignment, it says scan an assignment or take pictures. You're going to click add or create, and then there are options for things that you can add or create. My suggestion would be, if you're going to be doing this and it's an assignment like a Le Chatelier POGL, where you actually have to print the POGL and answer with your own handwriting, then either upload it to Drive as pictures, or you can make PDFs of it and scan it, whatever you want to do. You're going to share that file with me, and then you're going to have your options, and back here there is a place where it says submit. So let me show you what that looks like. So there's a place that says submit. Awesome. Once it's submitted on my end, Miss Chilton and I were playing. Miss Chilton, you know, we were figuring out how this is actually going to work. Miss Chilton submitted something to me for the acid base, you know, vocabulary unit. She submitted a picture. It's a picture of her at the Friends Museum. And then it'll show you what you submitted, and it'll be sent to me. On my end, I am going to then turn around and look at it and give you a score. And Miss Chilton, you know, she got a score. I wrote back, and I wrote poop, but I wrote back with a comment like, hey, like, I got it, or be like, yeah, you got a full credit grade. There's going to be a score here, and then it is going to also, if there's any sort of comment, I might leave you like, hey, like, you forgot some words, or hey, like, you're missing a page, or hey, great job, you earned full credit. There's going to be some sort of private comment. I promise you that the comments are private, except in Miss Chilton's case when I wrote the word poop. So basically what's happening here is that when you're all said and done and you're submitted, the file for that entry for that assignment will go gray. At this time, there's going to be, I think, 2 things that are due on Monday, and then I believe that there are 3 things that are due on Wednesday. The Wednesday assignments are going to be new, which means that you're going to have a POGL assignment that's new. It's going to be posted on the website starting tomorrow. There's a POGL assignment. There are 2 ed puzzles that are coming that are, you know, based on this week. They're going to be due on next Wednesday. Okay, the way this will work is that assignments will be due on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, because those are the designated science days. There will be assignments that you will work on over the course of the week, you know, like things that are going on I'm sorry, my dog is digging upstairs. I don't know if you can hear him. There are things that are going to be assigned to you over the course of the week. Like here's Monday's assignment, here's Tuesday's assignment, here's Wednesday's assignment. Just because there are designated science days that are when assignments, or like teachers could be available live, or like that's a specific time frame that is given to science. The district has said it doesn't mean that those are not days that you're not working. You're working on other days too. It's not just like, you're only doing science for 45 minutes 3 days a week. You're doing science over the course of the week, but those are the set times where my assignments will be due. Those are set times when my assignments will be unveiled. Those are going to be the set times where you have interaction with me if you have any questions or comments. I am available by Remind. I am available by email. I have been available letting you watch the recordings that I'm doing. You can watch them live if you choose at night as I am recording. Otherwise, those assignments will be posted to the website for you to complete, but assignments will be uploaded for completion in little blocks of time, and the grading windows or the assignment due dates will be set at my specific science interval that's set by the district in those little time blocks and frames. So with that being said, if you have any questions or comments about how Google Classroom is going to work, please shoot me a text in the Remind or an email. Otherwise, I will see you all on Monday. Okay, have a good night. Bye-bye.